What's up, everybody? I know it's been a while. As you can tell, my voice is still coming back. So let's talk. I was during the last few weeks, I decided to go home, visit my partner, visit some of my former coworkers, and surprise everybody. Well, I got home, surprised my partner, whatnot. Put the day together or whatnot. Then the next day I came back to Illinois. Um, I woke up with like headache, sore throat. At the time, I still had a voice, but um, fever. I was like, oh, of all the times through all this of not having COVID, I knew. So my second day back, I literally got in the night before, and but then we hung out, then put to bed. I woke up, bam. Luckily, my partner had a at-home test, rapid test. Took it, bam, positive. So with all that being said, and that was just supposed to be a home visit. It turned out to like a 2 to 3 week stay. Um, and so I went and got tested at like one of the little local clinics back in Illinois. And strangely, my rapid came back positive, and my PCR, which is supposed to be, the test, came back negative. So once that all happened, I had to, which is cause strange. I really, it's usually maybe the other way around, whatnot. But um, so once that happened, I had to wait till I got those results. So that took like a week at the time. And then once I got that, I had to retest to get my PCR, and this time PCR came back positive. So basically, I was back in Illinois sick, um, not working, but some things I did find out, and I think that a lot of people also need to know, is being a traveling nurse or CNA, COVID pay. Does your agency offer it? Does the facility offer it? It seems like I go through all the issues. So I'm gonna let you know about how that all went for me. So unfortunately, with the facility I was at did not offer COVID pay for traveling healthcare workers. Nor did the agency that I'm with offer like a COVID pay either. There's a few things you have to understand about that. Um, I can see that's the thing, but when considering getting COVID pay, there's a lot of things you have to take into consideration. One, find out. Like, if you say you want to pay in your contract beforehand, or before you even take a contract, read the contract and find out, hey, does my agency offer COVID pay? Um, or does the facility offer COVID pay? 90% of the time, the facilities don't offer COVID pay for travelers. This is what it is. For their staff, it's different because that's their staff. Um, but um, you also want to know about your agency. And our agency you're traveling with may offer COVID pay. But one of the other things you have to remember is that everything comes from somewhere. So there might be agencies who just like with everything, with housing, transportation. Usually if you get those things from your agency, you don't. That's less money coming into your pocket. So with every agency, there's good things and bad things with everything else. You have to decide whether you want to work with this agency or not. My thing is to be straightforward and honest with the recruiter. Like, these are things I'm looking for. Do you have them? What's a way to work out a plan to if something happens or whatnot? Just be open with your recruiter about what you're looking for. That's gonna be the best thing. Don't try to hide it, or don't try to be nervous about asking a question or anything like that because then you run into situations you wish you would ask, like I did. For me, I didn't even really consider it because I went through. I mean, even working back in Illinois, I worked at ICU, which was mostly COVID patients by that time, um, and with no COVID. I've never, you know, I've worked straight on with COVID patients throughout since the beginning. You know, and nothing. So, um, with that being said, always try to make sure if your company or whatnot that you work with has some type of COVID pay. If they don't, which is fine, because if they don't have the COVID pay, the reason you're with that travel agency, they may have something else that you consider more important to you personally. So it's your personal preference with your agency, and just ask questions. Now, another way around it is just make sure when you're on these travel assignments, you have some money put to the side. Don't be like me, get COVID unexpectedly when you're traveling back home just to visit for a couple of days. End up end up there 3 weeks because you weren't prepared. Um, so, um, I think it's too with your talk to your insurance company. If you have insurance, whether it's through your company or with your travel agency or personal insurance, maybe there's like Aflac or Prudential, they'll pay you and get you covered pay while you're off work. I know some businesses were some companies were talking about as far as getting covered under workers' comp. So find out about that. Short-term disability. Find out about that. Because you never know. It could be depending on your symptoms. You could be out for more than 2 weeks, or the 10 days, or 5 days, or wherever the CDC is deciding which term or policies or qualifications you're going to have for this week. So with that being said, check into those things. So for me personally, I didn't have COVID pay from my agency or my facility that I'm working at. It was a long struggle, and also, being back in Illinois, it was a struggle because I'm here in Maine. I'm back in Maine now. I'm negative now. I'm going back to work. I was negative about like a week before I came back, but trying to get back with the air flights and everything, that was a whole other issue. But the thing is that but I'm working in the main healthcare system, and was in Illinois, so that was a whole big issue, miscommunication, all that. Finally going back tomorrow to work, but it was just a whole fiasco, to say the least. But I'm glad I'm gonna be back. I did receive word that my facility does want to extend my contract another 13 weeks, which I don't know. It was my first contract, and I want to travel, so we'll see what happens with that. I'm still gonna decide on that. I haven't even came back word to my recruiter. Yeah, just some things I want to explore. So we'll see about that. Maybe I'll make my way back around to Maine. Maybe not. um, but yeah, that's one of the most important things. When you're traveling, especially with COVID on the rise and all these there's new variant every couple of weeks now. Make sure you have some type of coverage, especially with being, if you catch COVID unexpectedly. You want to check your private insurance, see if they have any type of coverage, like I said, Aflac, Prudential, or whoever you're with. See if they have any type of coverage to cover you for being off work, for catching COVID. Or for short-time disability or workers' comp. See if you can apply those. Some even applied to unemployment because they didn't know whether or not they were going to be returned to work or not. So there's a bunch of different avenues. There are agencies that do offer the to reiterate this. There are agencies that do offer your COVID pay plus your stipend pay while you're off. But just remember, everything comes from somewhere. So those companies, not saying that they're not saying anything bad about different agencies or what travel agencies or whatnot. But you have to remember that if you didn't offer that, then what aren't they offering? There might be ACL offers the whole 9 yards. If there is, let me know. But yeah, just everything comes from somewhere. If you want your travel, your hotel, a rental car, COVID pay, PTO time off, all that comes from somewhere. And usually those things get put into your contract or whatnot is going to lower either your stipend pay or your hourly pay. You're not going to get paid enough, but you will be covered on those things. So it's like a give and take. So just remember that. I haven't, ran into any